Wow. So this is some time after the trade has actually gone down. I'm still processing everything, honestly. But wow, welcome everyone. Massive trade in the NBA. Marcus Smart is on his way to the Memphis Grizzlies in a 3-team deal that saw Kristaps Porzingis go to the Boston Celtics. The Celtics sending Smart to the Grizzlies, and then the Grizzlies shipping off Tyus Jones to the Washington Wizards. There were some other pieces part of this as well. Gallinari and Muscala are also headed to Washington along with the 35th pick, and then 2 first-round picks, the 25th pick in tonight's NBA draft, as well as a Golden State's 2024 pick that was owned by Memphis, are going to Boston. Now, there's a lot to this trade that we can break down, but I wanted to be the one person at this company that has the Grizzlies perspective on it. And I want to start out by giving a shout out to Tyus Jones. Honestly, he's one of the best, if not the best, backup point guards in the NBA. He rightfully and 100% deserves to be a starting point guard in this league, and I wish him nothing but the best of luck moving forward with his career. Now, as for the trade itself, moving off of Jones and then 2 first-round picks, there was a lot of Grizzlies fans that were upset about this because they wanted to use Tyus and use some maybe young pieces and also multiple of those first-round picks to try to go out and get a Mikal Bridges, an OG Anunoby, so just an upgrade at wing somewhere. But I even tweeted this out last night. I was curious, do people think that Zach Kleiman, who's the GM for the Grizzlies, was sitting on his hands until an hour before the midnight deadline for Porzingis to opt into his $36 million player option? Woj even mentioned it in a video late last night when discussing the trade, or it might have been early this morning, I can't remember, but he said that when the deal fell through with the Clippers, that Washington called Memphis again, meaning that Memphis and Washington had already been in discussions for some sort of trade at some point this offseason. And I guess when the deal with the Clippers fell through, they called up Memphis and said, hey, do you want to get in on this? Because we want this deal to go through. We want to move Porzingis to Boston. But anyway, that's getting a little bit sidetracked. As far as the price goes, 2 first-round picks, I'm perfectly fine with that because of what Memphis is getting. With Smart, you get a veteran leader in a young locker room that desperately needs veteran leadership. You look at the entire Ja situation that has been going on from the end of last season and into the offseason. This team in general needs veteran leadership. You can't be successful in the NBA and have a roster full of 21 to 23-year-olds. It's just not going to happen. The Grizzlies they fit outside of that because they've had some success. They've had more success than young teams because they've just acquired such great talent and they've developed so well. But it's not been to championship level success or even super deep playoff success. They haven't made it past the second round. But Smart's that guy who is going to come in and who's going to demand the respect of the Grizzlies players because he's been there. He's been to the finals. He has been a starter on a championship level Celtics team that just couldn't get over the hump for one reason or the other. Obviously, former defensive player of the year. And I know some Celtics fans were saying, this past year he just wasn't as good defensively as he was the year before that. But he's that perfect combination and compromise between what Memphis was giving up in Tyus Jones and what they were departing with in Dillon Brooks. Point guard stability there, someone that's going to be able to take over the point guard role while Ja is serving his 25-game suspension. And then you have the defense that's there, plus a little bit more of an offensive upside. Smart played better in the playoffs than Dillon Brooks, which wasn't too hard, but also Tyus Jones put up kind of a stinker in these past playoffs too. Now, in generally, Smart and Brooks's numbers are fairly similar. Their overall percentages aren't too far off, but Smart is taking less shots a game per Dillon Brooks, and I'm fine with being inefficient on less shots, especially with someone like Smart, who has the defensive ability, has a better reputation around the league, and is just in general a more well-rounded offensive player than what Dillon Brooks was. And what I am definitely looking at is right here, the assists that Smart was putting up. These are his stats from over his past few years in the NBA, and we see a steady increase. The points are fine. The field goal percentage is whatever. The three-point shooting isn't great, but he was shooting around 36% in the playoffs. But it's the assist totals, the steals, the defense. That's what I'm concerned about when it comes to fitting into the flow of the offense. And we all know the phrase iron sharpens iron. Smart is the iron that is going to be able to put that killer instinct back into these Grizzlies, and especially into Ja. It feels like players like Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr., those guys have it. But Ja, this team only goes as far as what Ja can take them. And if Ja is not focused, then they're going to fall short of their ultimate goal of winning the championship. And again, the 2 first-round picks, yes, Boston could, by the time the draft comes tonight, they could move up, use it as leverage, and try to consolidate those picks and to get more players. Or maybe they hit on those players. But more times than not, teams are not hitting on those picks. And again, to bring a Grizzlies perspective into this, I think a lot of Grizzlies fans were upset about it because of the perspective that the success that Memphis has had later in the first round. Brandon Clark was a late first round pick. Santi Aldama was pick number 30. Desmond Bane was pick number 30. Now, I love the fit in the player in general, but what is also great about this trade is Memphis still has their $12.4 million mid-level exception where they can go out and they can upgrade at wing or get another backup big or get a backup point guard if they are worried about if they need another ball handler on this roster. And who's to say that maybe they don't trade back into the first round tonight? Memphis has been trading around in the first round for the past 3 seasons. Again, I just love the fit of Smart in Memphis. He's definitely a Memphis type player. It feels like we've taken grit and grind and we have modernized it. And he's just a player that is an epitome of that modernization of doing the dirty work on a basketball court, but then also having a little bit of a 3-point shot as well. Closing lineups of Ja, Smart, Bane, and Tripp are going to be awesome. And then that 5th player, it could swing a number of ways depending on the personnel that you need out there. Maybe you need Steven Adams to close out the game. Maybe you bring in someone like Luke Kennard. You need more shooting to close out the game in a small ball lineup. We hope that Brandon Clark comes back soon. And again, I'm excited to see what they do with the mid-level exception. Maybe again, they trade back into the first round, or maybe they use some of their future picks as ammo because they have some young guys under contract right now to go out there and try to get another vet to bring onto this team. Now, I know I ranted and talked mostly on the Grizzlies perspective. There will be more on Vendetta Sports Media about the trade as a whole, so link down in the description below for our website to go there and read. Make sure to be following us on Twitter and everything, so that way you guys can be up to date on the news stories about, you know, the trade and the feelings and the complete analysis around the trade that just happened. But what do you guys think? Who do you guys think won the trade? Do you think Memphis made a good job? Did they do a good job? Was it a great deal for Memphis? Did they give up too much? Did they kind of get away a little bit with getting a great player, but even though sacrificing another good player and 2 first-round picks? I think we can all say that Washington was the loser of this trade, definitely. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you can be notified whenever a new video drops. This is Jackson Law from Vendetta Sports Media, signing off, and I will see you guys next time.